Hello there, thank you for joining me. So this is a little bit of local banking history. So I came across this, the North Staffordshire Trustee Savings Bank book. This used to belong to my dad, and I think he opened it in 1966 or 67. So my dad would have been 18 or 19 when he opened this. Anyway, the first thing I noticed is the hours of business. So the bank, you would only had to have worked 35 hours a week, which was pretty nice hours to work. Although on a Friday you would have to do a 9-hour shift, 10 till 7 p.m. And I believe that, back in the 60s and 70s, most people would have been paid weekly, and they would have been paid in cash. So that would have been an opportunity for the majority of people to save some of that money. Go to the bank and put whatever money you've got in the bank, I suppose. But yeah, just having a look on the Wikipedia page just to get a bit more information. So it says the Trustee Savings Bank, TSB, was a British financial institution that operated between 1810 and 1995, when it was merged with Lloyds Bank. Trustee savings banks originated to accept savings deposits from those with moderate means. Their shares were not traded on the stock market, but unlike mutually held building societies, depositors had no voting rights, nor did they have the power to direct the financial and managerial goals of the organisation. Directors were appointed as trustees, hence the name, on a voluntary basis. The first Trustee Savings Bank was established by Reverend Henry Duncan of Rothwell, and that was for his poorest parishioners in 1810, and the sole purpose was to serve the local people in his community. And between 1970 and 1985, the various trustee saving banks in the United Kingdom were amalgamated into a single institution named TSB Group plc that was floated on the stock exchange. Okay, so just a bit further on the Wikipedia article, because it's a massive article, but this is interesting, and it's about Tom Bryans, the general manager, who's basically the first chief executive of the newly amalgamated Trustee Savings Banks, TSB. So this guy was in his mid-50s. He was a computerised banking expert. So Bryans took the helm with a mandate to turn the savings banks from a quasi-government body into a successful independent provider, but his salary of £17,000 per annum was well below those paid at similar posts at clearing banks. So just to put his £17,000 salary into perspective, between 1976 and 1984 you could have bought between 0.54 of an average priced home to 1.4 of an average priced home, which in 2022's money would be somewhere between £142 to £364,000. And the reason why I say 2022 is just because if you look at the CEO in 2022 of TSB, they picked up £1.8 million for doing the exact same job. And that works out at just under 7 homes in 2022 money. So there's a fair bit of difference there between what the CEOs got paid back then and what they get paid now for doing the same job. Okay, so looking at the bank book again. So I'll just go on there, just open the first page. You can see just how many local branches there were. I think there's 11 or 12 different branches of the North Staffordshire TSB. So quite a lot of branches. It's definitely more than there is today. If we have a quick look at how many TSB branches there are now, and even if we look at how many Lloyds TSB branches there are now, not nearly as many as there used to be. So let's have a quick look on the next page. This took my interest. So it says security. It says all monies deposited in the bank, with the exception of working balances, are invested with the Bank of England for the account of the government, and the repayment of these monies is guaranteed by Act of Parliament. Well, that's interesting. So all your money is basically guaranteed, whereas now you have your £85,000, which is basically guaranteed. So that's a little bit different if I'm reading that correct. On to the next page. So we've got the first bits of money going in and out. What you notice is where it says amount, and it's got 3 columns, and this is because before 1971 we had pounds, shilling and pence. So there's 20 shillings in a pound, 12 pennies in a shilling, or 240 pennies in a pound. And I think 1971 is when that all changed. In fact, if I flick the next page, you can see where it says 1971, and it's got the first stamp saying new pence on there. So from now on there's no pounds. Well, there is pounds, but there's no shillings. So looking through it a little bit more, I've noticed just looking at, when I look at the interest payments on this, I worked it out roughly to be between about 3 and 4% interest, which I don't know. I don't think it's particularly brilliant, but I suppose it's much better than what we get now. I'm looking towards the back of the book. So we've got withdrawals, and it says sums not exceeding £100 are repaid without notice. The trustees may require 7 days notice previous to the withdrawal of larger amounts. To withdraw £100. I mean, it sounds funny, but I suppose £100 was a lot of money back in those days. Okay, on the last page, this took me interested. I'm looking at it on the last page, and it says Wakes Week. During Stoke Wakes Week, the banks will open from Monday to Saturday from 9 AM to 12 noon. So a 3-hour day. Wakes Week basically is the Potter's holiday. I never heard it called Wakes Week before, but Potter's holiday was the last week of June and the first week of July. And that's when traditionally most people went on holiday. Well, they were forced to, because basically the factories all closed. So that's basically it for this piece of history. So I hope you enjoyed the little video I made. Thank you very much.